Hey everybody, Wendy Clinky with Blue Cat Studio. Today we're going to do this cute little, I don't know if it's a gingerbread house or a candy house with all sorts of glitter, but that's the design we're going to work on. So let's go ahead and get started with some Bahama blue, just a light blue, and white. We're going to take that Bahama blue and mix it way, way down. But we'll go ahead and get just a base coat with a darker blue or just a plain blue to coat your surface. So just get it nice and blue. Here we go. Because it's wood, it's very, very absorbent and it's just kind of sucking all that pigment in, which is great because then we can take it, a few steps later after this. All right, getting that in there. So I went to the craft store today, to Michael's, and I got stuck in the glitter section. I managed not to buy anything, but oh my goodness. I was like, oh, and I could get this, and I could get this, and I could get this, and it'd be like $30 later. I was like, or 40 or 50 actually, because I think there was like 4 different colors I was wanting. And I was like, yeah, no, put it all back. Come on. Buy it as you need it, not just because it's awesome. Although, let me tell you, it was awesome. Okay, so now we've got a nice blue. I personally feel that blue is a little bit dark. So we're going to grab we're going to first offload the brush. You can see like I have little chunks of paint on it. So I'm just going to wipe it on spare kind of junk mail. Ooh. Actually, I've still got a lot in the ferrule, so I'm going to grab paper towel and just get the rest of it out. That way I don't inadvertently get blue gobs when I'm not looking for it. So then just grabbing straight up white in like a big gob, and we're going to start from the middle and we're just going to kind of blend it to create a much lighter blue. Now I could have, just selected a different blue for this project, but I really felt like, instead of, every time we do this, you feel like you've got to go paint shopping, which could get kind of old after, a couple days. And we're doing this 25 days. I would just take a color that we already had and we would get it and we would just work with it. Okay. Just kind of, again, allowing the white to kind of blend in with that blue to get it a nice pale color. I actually think we could even take it a step lighter, but I need to allow it to dry a little bit, not too much. So I'm offloading the excess paint on my brush currently, grabbing my dryer thing and giving it a light shot, but not too much. I don't want it to go fully dry on me, but I needed to start heading that dry. Okay, so grabbing more white and we'll just blend it in again. So again, if you have like a really light blue, like in fact, like a cloudless from Apple Barrel, that would be awesome. I totally didn't think I had cloudless, but it used to be one of my absolute favorites, and I found it the other day. But that's not one I've been incorporating into a lot of projects. So I, again, didn't want to make you guys go run and buy all new paint every single time, because then you'd be like, forget this. This is getting expensive. All right, I got a lot of extra paint, so I'm just brushing it off on a spare. And I'm going to kind of come over. There's a couple of paint ridges I'm just going to smooth out so that it really kind of looks a little bit more even. All right, that's a nice light blue. And compared to where we were, we've really toned that down quite a bit. So offloading that paint, let's give it a quick blast to get it to dry, and I will rinse my brush. It's time to let that blue go. We may revisit the blue a little bit here and there, but mostly not. Although we do have some mermaid tail teal, which of course we'll be breaking out. But that's really more of an accent color. And that looks pretty sufficient. So just squeezing the extra water out of my brush. And we're going to grab a little bit of white here, a little bit of this purple. Now this is like a lavender from Deco Art Americana. It's not one I use all the time, but it's a pretty kind of light, kind of fluffy color. And I think I'm going to grab a little bit more white and just mix that down a bit. So this is our sketching color, but it's also going to come in handy. So we're going to create kind of a rounded a rounded horizon or sort of base. Just kind of purple in around the corners. You can leave the center part, you can leave the center part blue right there. And we're actually going to sketch the house with this. So let's see, we'll say this is the peak of the roof. I'll pick a spot right up there towards the center of your ornament up at the top. We're going to kind of do little archy or arcing roof bits that come out. Notice those are not straight lines. They kind of swoop out. We want it to swoop. Let me make it a little swoopier. So we want it to be, yeah, okay. And we'll kind of come across here, and you notice we're, again, making it a little bit angular. So it's narrower at the base and wider over there. So now I've got a basic of that color in. We'll do kind of a door right here. I might paint over that again. And now I'm going to take some more white and add it to that purple mix that we had to go down a notch in terms of lightening. There we go. Kind of desaturated that. And we'll kind of fill in the house with that lighter purple. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It can blend, it can whatever. But we do like the kind of the purple outline. The purple outline helps. And so little tiny bits of it will be peeking through. So now we'll take some of that lighter purple and just kind of work it like snow, like it's snow kind of across. Or maybe it's pink or purple powdered sugar, I don't know. But kind of across that horizon line there. If you're watching, say hi, let me know where you are. I am personally in Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. area. I know we've got people from all over the world and all over the country. Okay, I grab a little bit of just straight up white and just kind of ziggy zag it right through the middle here. Now, trust the process. I always say that, I know. I didn't bother rinsing my brush. We're kind of constructing this a little bit at a time. So I got a lot of paint on my brush. I'm going to offload it on my junk mail, just kind of get rid of that excess. And we'll go ahead and grab a little bit of white. Kind of, yeah, I think we can go with straight white. I'm just going to kind of dab it kind of right along that purple. I want the bits of that, you know, quote unquote, darker purple to show. And, you know, we're not done with the purple. We'll come back and revisit it. And then a few just tweaks and streaks there. I think that covers it. Maybe a little swoosh of white right up here. Kind of along the sides, keeping it loose. So that this is a touch of the white. It's blending with that lighter purple just to create a little bit more highlight around the door. Go ahead, offload your brush. And let's see. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and rinse and give it a quick blast. Then we're going to come in and start getting some of the some more foundational pieces in. Now, because we're working so teeny tiny, we're going to do a lot of pieces kind of like so. I mean, okay, let me try and say that. I'm not speaking very well. So when we're doing something with candy stripes, it's actually easier to paint the whole thing in one color and then paint the stripes on top of it than paint two sets of stripes because it's so small. So we are grabbing neon pink, not necessarily, you know, the color you would think of for you know, candy canes and all the like, but it works. So above the doorway, we're going to draw a nice big kind of circle, almost like a clerestory window. And that's going to become one of those Starlight Mint type, you know, things. And then we'll do a quick arch over to make the door. And that's kind of right. So you have the darkish purple, the very lightest, and then the even lighter. And then right next to it, kind of parallel, can be touching or not. And we're going to do a little candy cane. And then we'll do the opposite side as well. So coming up here and bloop. All right, we got two candy canes. Now we'll get some fence in here. So a line, 2, got a little thick there, 3. I think we need a 4th one. And notice that's getting a little bit into the, so if my horizon line is right here, the posts are not exactly on the horizon line for the fence. They're a little bit inside, like into the purple. All right, maybe this one wants a fifth because I got those all nice and close. I'll just do a quick line that kind of connects them. Okay, and then for fun, we'll go ahead and just kind of do like a ziggy-zaggy, gentle light. And I'm using a, super fine line brush here. Just kind of get little lines around the little rooftop. So the little bits of purple are still showing. The little bits of white are still showing. We might bring a little bit of pink kind of down. There we go. And maybe a couple of streaks of pink just along that kind of left part of maybe a little jiggle jaggle here too in the pathway. I'm going to offload that pink from my brush, grab some white, and just come kind of right over it. And just do a little bit of blendy blend. Notice some of that blue is sort of showing in the middle, and the pink is kind of smooshing, blending, all the things. Okay. Maybe a little bit of pink out in here. Not too much, but a few little kisses of pink. I love pink snow. I don't know why, but I think pink snow is like the cutest thing ever. Let's give it a quick blast. It's going to make all the next steps a little easier. Rinsing your brush. Go ahead and give your fine liner a quick break, or you can flip it over depending on what you have on the bottom. We actually want the tail of the brush, but mine's a mermaid tail, so that's actually not going to do because I want a dot tail. All right, let's go ahead and grab some of the green. This is the sour apple, and I'm just grabbing dots of green on the back, and I'm going to do kind of a dot here in the center, and then a few dots kind of with a little bit of space all along the roof. Okay, that's 5. Let's see if I can manage 5 on this other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of my tests on these, I got it totally uneven like a silly willy. Oh, Karen says that is heckin' cute. Thank you, Karen. I kind of love it too. And then so I'm just gonna put this out there. I often forget to do glitter, but I feel like this guy won't even survive without glitter. Okay. So next, I'm going to do a tiny little door handle, see if I can, just a green doorknob. I'm going to wipe this guy off. I do need some more green to do the trees. And so we'll come back to our little fine liner. And it can literally be, like a series of upside down V's kind of coming down. And it's on either side of the candy canes, just kind of like framing the front door. And you know what? That looks very light. We are going to break out the mermaid tail teal in just a minute to kind of amp that sucker right back up so we can see it. But I love that green color. But again, it's kind of fading and falling. So offloading your brush a little bit, I'm going to grab some mermaid tail teal. And if you don't have mermaid tail, you need to go get some. But if you don't have any kind of dark teal, like a peacock teal, or just, kind of whatever you can find that's in the dark tone, those are Deco Art brands. And so see how I'm kind of just putting a little bit of the dark teal along the left edge of that tree, and then kind of jig-jaggling along the center. And you can kind of bring a little bit out, and it just darkens it, but it also, so now you can see it, right? But it also adds a little bit of, kind of interest because it's multi-tonal. So maybe even just a little bit more teal in a few spots. And when the teal mixes with that green, it just looks like a dark green. But a vibrant dark green, not like a dead dark green. I have all this forest green like here, and I was like trying to find an excuse to use it because I've got bottles and bottles left over from a paint party, and I was just like, nope. I so struggle with it because it's such I don't want to say a dead color, but it feels like a little like a dead color to me. Okay, so with that mermaid tail, we're back again with our little tiny brush. I'm going to come around and do a tiny little mermaid tail teal swoosh directly under all the green dots. Think of it as like a shadow. Just kind of adds a little definition, pops it, reminds your eye to take a peek and see the thing. This is a lot of detail work. So I apologize in advance if you're like, oh my goodness. Now, you could always do this just a whole lot bigger and say, heck with those ornaments. I'm going to do this on a big canvas. Okay, go for it, my friends. I'm not stopping you. I'm just loving this whole collection. All right, I'm going to give this guy a quick rinse. I still want to use it, and I still want to use mermaid tail. I just felt like some of the paint was kind of drying on there, and the bristles were starting to splay. And so I'm trying to preserve this thing so I can use it a while longer because I really like the mermaid aspect of it. All right, we're going to come in here and we're going to create almost like a little L kind of in the doorway. Just kind of like a little shadow we're adding in there. A little shadow right under the loop there. And then I think it's technical terms, sort of jiggle jaggle some of the mermaid tail teal directly under the eaves. So it's underneath the pink line. And let's see, maybe we'll swoosh a little down kind of this side here. Not too much, a little bit on the inner corners. Maybe we'll do a little kiss under each of the candy canes. And don't you worry, I haven't forgotten those candy canes. We're doing this piece by piece, little by little. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rinse and offload my brush and all the things. And we'll come back in now with some purple. That was a lavender again, if you're wanting the exact color. And just going to kind of do a reverse L on the other side, on the right portion of the door. I'm going to come in and drag a little bit of that purple kind of down around the sides of the doors. And then on the, I don't know, we'll go on this side of each of the fence posts, just kind of a line goes, kind of just lines right along it. It adds a little depth to it, makes it kind of stay interesting. Oh, and then we'll do like a little line underneath. If my shadows aren't agreeing, I apologize. We care, but we're just going for whimsy here, so it's all good. So bring in some purple down, kind of along the side here, in between maybe. A little bit in between here, gently, and it's okay if it's a bit see-through, I guess. So then we're kind of doing the bottoms of each of these little fence posts here. And then maybe just the occasional kiss of just a purple dot underneath the cross pieces. Not too much. Go easy. A little purple swoosh right under here. Because I should check for comments. I'm totally like in my world, like, we're painting, we're talking. All right, let's get a little bit of purple kind of underneath the eaves also. Kind of intermixing a little bit, with a little bit without that teal. So we just kind of want both of those in there. I feel like it adds sort of a richness. Oh, we forgot some of the purple in the candy cane guy here. Just a little bit underneath and maybe capping the bottom of those. And then sort of capping here at the base. And then, oops, that was a little bit big of a smush, but that's okay. Oh, and we'll do a little bit more purple down the side. And I think just to kind of differentiate the eaves of the roof, I'm going to keep going with the purple directly under them so that it looks like this part here pops out and forward above this bit. In fact, we'll even grab a little bit of just a pinch of white mixed in, just drag a little shadow kind of just down this little tiny portion right here, just a little. It just adds that shadow, right? Okay. Go ahead and rinse. There's so little paint on that we don't really have to offload. Now we're going to come in with some white in a little while. Let's get some yellow. We need some yellow. So grabbing, this is Daffodil Yellow. This is like from Folk Art. I feel like it's just like amazing coverage. I really love this one. And it's a very bright, lemony, happy yellow. So I guess I could come in here with the tail of the other one, but I think I'm just going to do little dots with my skinny brush here. It's a shorter brush and I'm less likely to whack the camera with my brush if I use this guy. and coming in here instead of dotting. And maybe just a little swooshy yellow on the tips there. And now down the sides, we can dab a few bits of a yellow. It doesn't have to be quite as formal. And then to warm things up just a little, I'm going to grab a kiss of pink. We're going to kind of draw a line right over here. Second line. I'm going to grab some yellow and we're going to draw yellow through that line and see, is that an orange enough orange? Let's try drawing a little yellow through that line. So when we're working in such small quantities, we're trying to just get a vibrant orange. All right. The second one I like a little bit better. I feel like I just had a smidge more. It's a little bit oranger. This one's too yellow. And it should be all the orange I need. So we're just going to come in with a few bips and bops of orange, kind of along, interspersed with the yellow bips and bops along the sides. And then we'll do a little tiny kind of underlining of each of these yellow bits with orange. Whoops, I picked up a bunch of yellow on that one. Again, this just warms it up, keeps it from being completely sort of cold. We want it a little bit rainbowy and friendly and glowy and all the things. Okay, I'm going to offload my brush. Let's see. Let me double check. Do I need that orange anywhere else? Oh, okay. I'm not offloading my brush. So I've got the orange on my brush. I'm going to grab a little kiss of pink here. Maybe rub it in. I know, just kind of blend it. Oh yeah, see, I got a lot of orange on my palette. And there. So what I've done, so I see I have a pink. This is actually even more vibrant. It's almost like a fluorescent red. It's fantastic. At least I think so. Do some gumdrops right along here. So 1, 2. See how much paint I actually have left to do. 3. It's kind of like a rounded triangle. 4. I'll make the 5th one just kind of coming right off the edge there. Do another one over here. And we're definitely in our own La La Candyland here. Well, that's what I should have named this, Candyland. Or maybe I called it the Sugar Plum House. Whatever. This is like my happy place. Okie dokie. Well, that looks good. Maybe one more blop right in here. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Could even do just a couple of nicks of the orange in there. Not too much, just a smidge. Couple, and offload quickly. Grab some white quickly. Maybe a touch of pink. I don't know. And we're going to just kind of blend some of that so it's not pure orange. We don't want it to be like orange. We just want that touch of glowing warmth in the walkway because we're trying to give that sense of welcome. And notice now we have all kinds of layers and interesting things going on in this snow. Okay. Offload your brush. I'm going to rinse it quick. We're going to go for some white now, but because I had some orange in there, I really want to kind of squeeze and twist and get as much of the paint out of there as I can. All right. Now let's get some white. Let's make this thing actually pop to life. So plain old titanium white. Let's get warmed up here. So we'll do just kind of a gentle kind of swoosh like over the pink with some white. It's kind of like a highlight on the doorway. A little upper arc on the top of the doorknob so it kind of looks all round. And then let's do some candy stripes on these candy canes. So it's really gentle. It's just nip, nip, nip. And here's where a super fine liner really, 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 really matters, right? All right, I'm getting almost too fine there. So I think we could get away with being a bit more aggressive with our stripes. I think I was a little bit gentle there. I'll kind of nick in here. It looks like I've got the tree overlapping part of my candy cane. So I'll just come in and get it where I can. And I maybe didn't come around the corner on that guy that well, but it's okay. Now we'll do this guy here in the middle. So we kind of will pick a dot in the center. And then we'll kind of just do like little bits that come out. Tell you, I love these tiny brushes. They're pretty great. I would have liked to have gotten a few more stripes in there, but I feel like we're kind of tapped out on stripes for that one. And then here we go. We're going to do a couple of white dots along the edges here because it's gotten a bit dark, I guess. A couple of white dots kind of along these. Kind of do a little white dot on each of your colorful dots here. It kind of brings it back up to kind of shining and all those fun things. A little bit here and here. Whoops, too much paint. Boop. Okay. Now we'll do the fence posts. And again, those are all going to be candy stripes. So you're just going to do bing, bing, bing. Bing bong is my key term for the day. Oops, got a little bit light in there. So we'll come in and just stripe, 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 stripe. I guess you could even do a couple on the cross pieces if you want, but don't overemphasize it. Keep that really simple because we really want the focus to be on the candy cane sticks of, ooh, too much paint. So you're going to look at your brush every time you do this. You're going to say, oh, okay, yeah, I'm good. I've got enough paint. But if you see like a big old rounded blop on the end, it's a hint to yourself that you've got too much paint. Maybe just a couple little dip dops along the cross pieces, just enough to kind of make it look like it's a thing. All right, where are we at here? We're pretty much closing in on the design. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse this guy, offload it a little bit. But we do need to tweak our little walkway here. We do. In fact, a couple of things. So first and foremost, I'm going to take my square brush here, or my flat brush, and I'm going to kind of fluff it so that the bristles spread out. I'm going to dab it in some white. Let's see. I'm going to kind of just come offload it a bit, and I want my bristles to spread out. Can you see that kind of spreading out? And then I'm going to just go gently with my spread out, kind of like creating dots, oops, over each of these gumdrops, and it kind of just gives it that slightly sugared look and softens them. Yeah. I guess you could, do a little swoosh of white on the front of the door if you wanted. I don't know. It's going to be up to you. Something here. We'll just kind of keep it tonal. This is very well, maybe it's just on camera. It looks funny. Oh, you know what we need? We need just a little bit of, I'm going to rinse this guy because it's going to be my glitter applier. I'm going to grab a little bit of purple. I feel like I'm missing kind of depth in here. So just add a little ton of purple dash right under the bottom of each of these gumdrops. Kind of grounds them, adds a little shadow. You could even add like a little purple here and there. I don't know, not too much. That's a little weird. I'll grab some of our lighter purple and kind of smush it out. I don't know. Yeah, maybe a few shadows just along there. Again, I don't want it to look too flat. We want it to kind of have some depth and some interest. So let's give this a quick blow, dry. There it is. And then we're going to break out the glitter. So there are a couple of options here for this. I was feeling like mega glitter personally. So of course we have the crystal. I know I say that every time, but I think it every time. So, my baser instincts. So we'll squeeze a little bit of that on my palette here. It's going to go on fairly white, and we're going to use the flat brush. So I'm thinking that I would like the snow and the house to be all glitterified. Now, this is sufficient, but if you want to go like extra, I also have glitter, like some of the AB, iridescent clear stuff. I really just want to then dump some more glitter on top of this. Well, not exactly dump, but sprinkle. Because this is, well, it's gingerbread house, or it's a candy house. And it glitters and sparkles. All right, so we'll get this kind of all coated and the trees will be all happy. I think the only thing that doesn't get to be over glitterified is the sky. Okay, now this does go on a little bit opaque or a little bit cloudy. As it dries, it will be less cloudy. In fact, it'll be crystal clear. All right, and I'm just going to do little stripes on each of the fence posts. So while in a normal world, this would be sufficient, although I know it's kind of washed out and it's a little hard to see. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit more glitter on it because I'm so feeling that. So I've got this like, it's like a 1 pound thing of like crystal stuff. And so I like to just kind of put like a little bit on a plate. And then, see, we have the paint out of the way. All right, so I'm staying on camera. So I'm going to grab a little pinch here. Are we all good for everybody? Yeah, okay. Just kind of sprinkle it on top so it really feels kind of candy coated, powdered sugar coated. And I really want it on the pathway, like the trees and a few other spots here. On the fence post. So in fact, I could just go like hog wild here and just kind of pour it on and see what happens. Sorry, that's probably noisy. But then again, because glitter, as a friend of mine called it, is like herpes, you kind of need to then keep it contained with a plate. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see right now. We're going to give it another blast. Hopefully that'll get it dry, and then it'll be more visible. Hopefully I didn't overdo the glitter. I've been known to do that sometimes. So hopefully I didn't lose too much of my design here. If I did, I can just kind of brush some of it away. We'll see. I maybe overdid it. It worked the first time. What did I do this time? I got over exuberant, maybe. Okay, don't do what I did. Use less glitter. Oh, it really sparkles. Let's see. I'm gonna brush a little bit of it down here. Yeah, I think I overdid the glitter. Sorry. I was super excited about the glitter, but I did too much. Okay, well, so just the glitter paint should be fine. Or Mod Podge and a small amount of glitter. And notice that I can still kind of back my way off it. So I can kind of brush it off of the high pigment items and leave it like on the body of the house and in the walkways, but I can kind of wipe it off of the gumdrops. That way I can kind of maintain some of the definition, but I still get that over candied look. You shake this into my plate. And we're all glitterified here. And the beauty of this is if you feel like you've lost some details and you want to kind of bring them back, you can. You can just paint right over it. So I could say, all right, I'll need just a little pinch more of the purple kind of definition in here. I can just kind of add little touches of it back to kind of repop some of this. Again, I feel a little silly there. I totally overdid the glitter. I guess somehow I managed to not overdo it the last time. That's okay. Yours will look better than mine, right? Now that you've learned from my mistakes. But it is super fun the way it's all like super sparkly. And I love the way it looks here and on the candy canes on the fences. So I may come back and tweak these. I don't know. But I think you kind of got the idea. And it was a really cute design until I over glittered it. All right, you guys, it's been real. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you again on December 20th in the evening at some point for day 20 of the Advent Ornament Challenge. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.